Joe, I suppose it's all about continuing the momentum of late for Gloucester at the moment, isn't it?
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, a big one on Friday night. So, I mean, over the last 3 weeks, the boys have scored a lot of points and played a lot of good rugby. So, we really got to keep that going. I mean, we can't let this be a slip up for us from a few personnel changes and change of competition. So, we really just got to keep the ball rolling.
And for you, what's changed? What's made that happen? Because Gloucester have scored so many points in the last 3 games, it just looks like everything's clicked.
Yeah, I guess it has. I mean, we've been working hard since week 1 in the competition, but the last 3 weeks things have just really come together for us. And you could argue that the opposition we've played haven't been the strongest, but even so, it's been good for us to display some of our skill and the things that we've been working on. So, like I said, we just got to keep it going on Friday night.
And as one of those people who's been involved in those games and now presumably involved again this weekend, is there extra onus on you to actually sort of make sure that transition happens, that continuation is still there?
I think in terms of me, there's the same pressure on each week whether you're starting or coming off the bench, and that's one thing that we sort of enforce as well, that if you're coming off the pine, you can't be coming on with less intensity or less focus than the starting team have got. So every person from 1 to 23 and beyond that has a role to do each week in how we're going to perform. So I think starting there's pressure on, and coming off the bench there's pressure on. So I mean, you just got to prepare the same way, and that's how we do it. And
the coaches have been praising actually the impact that the bench has had in recent weeks. So it shows that actually that's working.
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, no one in the team feels like, I guess, they're any less than anyone else, whether you're starting or you're on the bench or if you're not involved in the 23, because like I said, everyone's got a job to do. Credit to the guys in the non-23 who have been training really hard and putting the starting team and the reserves under a lot of pressure at training. I think that's starting to reflect in how we're playing as well.
I'm assuming we're going to see a lot of young, hungry players this week. How refreshing is that to work alongside them? I know you probably do anyway, but to sort of see them getting that opportunity and just sort of thinking, right, well, I've got to match their enthusiasm.
Yeah. There's definitely going to be a few personnel changes, but there's some guys that have also played a lot of rugby that are coming back from injury, and the likes as well, and guys who have been more so in the reserves of the Premiership teams and the European teams. So everyone's hungry to get an opportunity and a chance. So a lot of boys starting this week that haven't been starting over the last couple of weeks. But everyone's going down there hungry for a win.
And Bath, how does someone from the Southern Hemisphere view a Bath-Gloucester derby?
Well, they've got a Southern Hemisphere coach, and they're looking quite sharp at the moment. But I mean, you learn a lot about it when you get here, don't you? Because beforehand, you've heard things, but it's nothing like hearing what comes out of the shed and things like that. So I mean, it's a massive game, and the coaches have been reinforcing it as well. It's a huge derby week, and always is against Bath. It doesn't matter what competition. So I mean, it's going to be a tough one, and I'm sure they'll have a lot of support behind them down there. But everyone in the Gloucester jersey is looking forward to it.
And are they actually good opponents to have in an Anglo Welsh Cup game, because it does ensure that there's that extra bit of spice, that extra intensity?
Yeah, I don't know if you could refer to anyone as a good opponent to have, because there's obviously teams coming out of different places and different competitions everywhere. But it certainly puts a lot of passion into it. But I mean, no matter who we face, we're going to be fired up for it. But yeah, for a derby week, I guess it just does give that extra little percentage.
And if there's a few younger players in, does that up the pace? I mean, does that make it more of a sort of Southern Hemisphere style running game?
I guess it depends on the track we're playing on.
That'll be a mud heap then.
Yeah, no doubt. But I mean, look, we're trying to inject pace into our game everywhere we can through the Premiership and the European and things like that. So sometimes, the young guys, they do add a lot of energy and things like that, but it's the structure they've got to work on and build around. So I think you'll see a similar pace game to what we've been playing.